Hey La, welcome to Coffee with Avila. I'm Aviana Lemaire, and I'm thinking about different ways that my personality helped hide my autistic self as if I was doing it on purpose. Before I knew masking, this wasn't something I was doing at all on purpose. It's just how things were. And it really is about how other people's stereotypical view of things can affect you. There are always these different things, and they are valid. They're valid. People are out there studying to see the difference between how autism or ADHD seems to present itself traditionally in a male. We've moved past the time frame where it's one age and one sex and one type of presentation. So that's a good thing. But I'm thinking about this one that seems to have everything in there. One of the things that hid my autistic everything is that, let me restart this statement. One of the things that's really obvious about us is that we have a tendency to show upset or stress in a very specific way. The reason why I preface with that is that when I got upset, I would react in a way that very much wasn't a problem for anybody. I always did my best not to put my anger on other people, not to be abusive, and frankly, I didn't want to treat other people the way they treat me. I've spent my entire life feeling very good about myself because I do not treat other people the way they treat me. And so then I get to go to sleep and live my life and be happy. I get to know I wasn't a party to that. I don't have to run up, I don't have to run up and apologize to you, all these different things. But as a result of having that personality, I turn things more so inward. I would have inward reactions toward stress and toward being bothered, and sometimes that was stuff like the way I thought about myself and the way I talked to myself, and sometimes it is the way that I would get my energy out. And one of my massive major stems, and something I would do to calm myself all of the time, was clean. And cleaning is a big part of this. It could be a lot of different things. I could organize as well, but I love to clean and I loved to straighten up. And there's something really amazing to me in this, because at some point, noticing the neurodivergent thing and doing all the studies and the information about how it works, I realized that a lot of cleaning, it's like that wax on, wax off philosophy. There's a lot of repetitive movement going on in there. So you might be washing something off or polishing it or drying it and doing a whole lot of very repetitive, the stereotypy, they call it, the repetitive movements where you're just going over and over and over. Me shaking my hands like this, which is just kind of one of my natural ways of showing something like a stem on video, because it does feel natural, and if you can see it on the screen from where I'm sitting. But me shaking my hands like this is not entirely different from the experience I would have cleaning a window or washing off a mirror or something like that, or the refrigerator. So I could really get in there and go in and start scrubbing and wiping things off, and I'm getting my stemming practice in. I'm getting my stemming needs out, which was also calming me. So if I was upset about anything, I was kind of naturally defaulting to my brain's need for that self-stimulatory behavior that would help me regulate. And very importantly, and this is where other people's concepts of me really work in here, I grew up in such a way that it was very obvious. It was very stated outright. There was no mystery to this. A cleaning female is a pleasing female. If you get upset and nobody cares that you're upset, nobody even knows necessarily, but if you get upset and the first thing you do as a reaction is to start cleaning, everybody's happy. Because now, and again, this is how I grew up, now you're not only not their problem emotionally, whatever you're going through, they don't even have to think about, because you're not talking to them, interacting, you're not sharing, you're not venting, you're not doing anything that seems mentally healthy for the average person. It's not their problem, A. And B, you're now fixing another problem, because what I would end up doing is cleaning stuff where I'm not going to go into somebody else's kitchen and start cleaning their stuff. That seems uncouth to me, because I'm like, that's your kitchen. I know everybody loves the cleaning, but I work a certain way. I wouldn't want somebody random coming into my place and cooking and cleaning and stuff like that, because I don't know what the heck, that feels weird. That feels like you've come into my house and you're like, no, it's fine, I'm just going to take a nap in your bed to test it out. No, you're not. Oh no, I don't think you will. I think we're about to see how physical I can get. I will body block you and keep you out of my bedroom. But nonetheless, I don't want to go do that stuff elsewhere with somebody else, right? Especially if I haven't been invited. It feels way too personal. My idea of home is that it should be of sanctity. It should be a sanctum. And so if I'm not a part of your sanctum, I shouldn't be doing it. So I did it where I was there, where it was no sanctum, but I lived there, and there were other people, and these individuals would be thrilled with me doing the work and doing the cleaning and all of this different stuff. It's like, oh, well, you've been trained well. Oh, I trained you well. Oh, I suggested, all these different things that they're thinking about that are positive for them in their life experience. Really, it's just my autistic need to be doing something. And it really doesn't have to do with how I was programmed or what I was taught to do very much. I mean, I took all that stuff in, it went through my brain, I processed it in my mind, and I made my decisions about how I would move forward. But when I was cleaning, I wasn't doing this thing because I thought that it was going to be wonderful for everybody else. I was doing it because really early on, I was basically just parsing things in my brain into what was going to, basically there were two sections: what was going to bother somebody else and potentially make a problem for me, and what was not going to bother someone else and potentially make a problem for me. So I noticed very early on in my life, even before I was consciously aware that this was programming, that if I'm cleaning, everybody is happy. And once again, I lived in that society where a cleaning female is a good female. So nobody was thinking I had any kind of issue going on, because that would have taken them being able to get out of their self and their issues and be like, I wonder why this is her approach, To a certain degree, it was my personality, but it also is my personality to make a choice. There are things, that I'm interested in, things that I might have been doing naturally, and that was one of them. But I also was consciously choosing to do that a lot, because I was stressed out that much, a lot. And so I would be walking around and just doing things. I say loved past tense because things change in life. There have been situations in my life where stuff that doesn't need to be an issue is turned into an issue. So I naturally, before anyone bugged me about it until I hated it, I loved washing dishes. I loved wiping down countertops. I loved deep cleaning. Like any kitchen that I was in, you were going to... Hold on. I didn't put my computer to sleep. I need to put it to sleep. The light just went crazy. So I just wanted to record this immediately because I had a moment and I'm thinking about this. This is an old video idea, and it could be a whole series, because this isn't just how I present it differently. I wasn't cleaning because I was female. Obviously anyone could want to clean, but because of the environment that I was growing up in and being programmed in, and the culture of everything, everyone else's reaction to me was, oh, she's cleaning. That's wonderful. That's what a female person should be doing. This is a positive trait. She knows how to clean. She'll be a good housekeeper and a wonderful mom. When in reality, in that moment, it wasn't about the future or housekeeping or any other stereotypical thing. Whether you want that or not, the fact that it is just laid on all of us across the board the way it traditionally has been does make it quite stereotypical. Yeah, it wasn't really about that. It was just about the fact that in the moment it was working for me. And so I knew that a lot of people were looking at me doing this thing. They just didn't give a flip. And they weren't going to think it was a problem, because it was well hidden underneath society's expectation of me as a female human, living up to or down to or off to the side, whatever lateral move, up, down, living accordingly with my gender role. And I'm thinking about this because I was just irritated with something. I was in the kitchen, I was putting all this extra energy into cleaning something, and I was doing something with the dishes, and I was doing that repetitive wiping thing, and I just thought, oh my God, this feels really good, because it's like just sitting here and doing this repeatedly, which does feel really good for me naturally, but I just spent so much of my life learning not to do obvious stems like that weren't the average stems that anyone might do, that autists might do, that neurotypicals might do. So I tried to hide my stems with things that you did see everybody else doing. The ones where it is a stem, but they don't get labeled as a stemmer or somebody who stems because it's just considered to be so normal, so we don't even need to label it. But in reality, in my own time, that's something that I love to do, really get in there and just shake it out. So I was in the kitchen just a little while back, I don't know why I said it like that, possibly because I still have that weird energy going through me. But I was in the kitchen doing this and I thought, oh yeah, I forgot. This is one of my old ideas that I had written down and I never got back to. Because here I am in this moment, like I always have been. Literally, I'm just stemming right there. And so then I'm spending extra time super cleaning this dish. I was holding a bowl, I think, and I'm just going after it. You know that bowl is going to be clean by the time I'm finished with it, because that's the one dish I really have to clean right now. And the harder, not harder like, not harder like to the point where you're gonna accidentally flip the soapy bowl out of your hand and harm yourself or break the dish, but I'm saying just the harder I go at it, like mentally, and I'm hyper focused on this thing, the cleaner this bowl is gonna get. So I've been doing this all of my life, and I did have a tendency to really get that bowl clean, that dish clean, those pots clean, just absolutely anything. And I'm going for that whether or not I'm having a moment where I need to stem or where I'm, anxiety riddled by something stupid and I have to get it out. But definitely in those moments where I'm over the top, it's just been too much and I've had it up to here, etc. I love that I just said had it up to here, because now I'm just thinking about Gwen Stefani and I'm Just a Girl in that video, and that's what it is. I had it up to here. That was exactly in line with what I'm talking about. I just 100% had it up to here. And because I'm a girl, to this day, I swear to this day, anytime somebody walks in and they see me cleaning hard, it doesn't matter what I'm feeling or if I look upset or over the top. Nobody cares as long as I'm cleaning while I'm doing it. It's absolutely insane. It seems so simple, but that's really not just about how I'm showcasing it. And again, we know that anyone could want to clean like this. Some people who are famous for that, whether it's coming out in a healthy way or it's not coming out in a healthy way, we know that it could be anyone who's wanting to do it. But it was being processed as if nothing is truly wrong, because let's face it, as neurodivergents, a lot of our especially early diagnoses are coming because someone looked at us and they felt inconvenienced, or they felt concerned, even if it's like, I'm concerned for this child's well-being. They felt concerned because they saw something they didn't think was normal according to what they think is normal. And so I look back on it and I realized there were a whole lot of places where I was showing really obvious behaviors, even in the way that I would clean or do other things. I would just kind of get to it. I was lauded as a child because I wanted to wash dishes. I loved washing dishes. I wanted to vacuum. I wanted to do laundry. I would sort laundry beforehand. I loved knowing how the machines worked and being able to do it myself. I would sort it out and fold it and put it away afterward. I did all of those things, and no one took one moment to think that in their mind it's not normal on paper that I'm doing all these things. It was remarked on as being different, but it was always praised. And maybe part of the reason why I was doing that is because I was already using it as a STEM at best. And I loved to organize. It was really a top interest for me, to the point where, yeah, if you want me to do your laundry and the baby's laundry and whatever else is laundry, I can do that. I can take those clean clothes and I can fold them up and they can be lined up perfectly, and I can put them away and I can reorganize your drawers in your closet slowly but surely, hanging things up and putting them where they're supposed to be. And I can just kind of explode my need for organization and order all over your entire universe, because who's going to stop me? Because again, A cleaning female is a happy female. Not a happy female. Well, they would say that. The women are so much happier when they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that's true, but that means what you're supposed to be doing, not what somebody else has decided you're supposed to be doing.